Hi guys, I hope you're okay. I hope you had a lovely sports day yesterday. We're halfway through the week, which is really strange because I've only done one video. But yeah, I hope you had a lovely sports day. I hope you've got lots of sponsors for our school library so we can get some lovely new books. It's really exciting. I love reading books. I've bought myself a new book today and I can't wait for it to arrive. Yeah, I hope we get loads of sponsorship money but in all, I hope you had a good time. So let's get on with our English lesson for today. Let's bubblify myself. Okay, today is Wednesday the 8th of July, and this is lesson number 17 of Myths and Legends. We are very close to the end of my lessons, which is really, really sad. So you know what you're going to need: pencil, pen, paper, Myths and Legends, lesson 17. So make sure you got everything. Today's LI is you'll be able to understand how Perseus and the Minotaur are linked, and you're going to be able to recall knowledge from several myths, and you're going to understand why Perseus was important to the Minotaur, and you'll be able to consider the importance of different characters. Okay, so make sure you've written down the date and the LI today. So, this is a piece of new vocabulary. It's tragedy. If you guys probably wouldn't know. Steps. Tragedy. It's a song. Research it. So, tragedy is a noun, and it's an event that causes great suffering, destruction, and distress, such as a serious accident, crime, or natural catastrophe. It's also a play dealing with a tragic event and having an unhappy ending, especially one concerning the downfall of the main character. So, some correct examples of the use tragedy. Some of the Greek myths, for example Pandora's box, could be considered as tragedies. The death of a whole family in a car accident was a tragedy. The tragedy, I can't say that word very well, that befell mankind following Pandora's disobedience still has consequences today. And in correct examples, that story is so tragedy. Doesn't make sense. I saw a really funny play at the theatre, miss. I think it was a tragedy. Wouldn't be a tragedy if it was funny. You ringtone is tragedy. And a shout taunted his friend. Your ringtone, right, is a tragedy. Okay, so which myths do you think could be considered a tragedy? Pause the video while you work it out. Okay, hopefully you've had a little go and I can't wait to see your work. So, I want you to write down 3 facts about the following gods, whether they're titans or mortals, and who they are, what they did. So we've got Perseus, we've got Hera, we've got Athena and Hercules. Okay, and send them to me, what you think, so I can have a look at what answers you come up with. Pause the video so you have extra time. So, you should be good at this. Rampage, trembled, and labyrinth. Those are your vocabulary recap words. So, have a think. What do they mean? What? Tell somebody. Tell what animal am I going to do? Have I done duck? Tell your imaginary duck. So, rampage means move through a place in a violent and uncontrollable manner. And it's a verb, but it can also be a noun. Trembled, that's shaking involuntary, typically as a result of anxiety, so nervousness, excitement or frailty, and that's a verb. And labyrinth, a complicated, irregular network of passages, paths, in which it is difficult to find one's way out, and that's a maze, like a maze, and that's a noun. Okay, wow, we've got loads of new words today. So, harbour, that's an area of the sea and the coast, which is partly enclosed by lands or strong walls so that boats can be left there safely. So, people come up and leave them at the harbour, tie them up on the buoys that surround the harbour. Often we bring boats into the harbour when we want to go on shore, to go and buy food or go to see friends or family, etc. And that's a noun, it's a place. It doesn't have a capital letter unless it's the name of a place. So, for example, Portsmouth Harbour, that would have a capital letter. Hamble Harbour, yeah. So, sail, a piece of material extended on a mast to catch the wind for a boat to be able to sail. So, the mast is the straight thing, and the sail comes off, and the wind catches that and pulls the boat along. It's a noun, but it can also be known as a verb. Docked, a ship or a boat comes into dock and tie up on the harbour sometimes, and that's a verb. Taunt, a remark made in order to anger or wound or provoke someone. A noun can also be a verb. Jeered, make rude and mocking comments or remarks, and it's typically in a loud voice. And that's a verb. Feeble, lacking physical strength, especially as a result of age or illness, so you're not very strong, a little bit feeble, maybe use a walking stick to get around. And that is an adjective, so it's a describing word. Goading, provoke or annoy someone so as to stimulate an action or reaction, so you're like goading them, go, come on, and that's to get a reaction out of someone, and that's a verb. Bellowed, emit a loud, deep roar, typically in pain or anger, that's a verb. Add the words you don't know to your glossary so that you can really get to know these words, okay? Well done. Pause the video, obviously. So, that's all of our recap tasks. I don't need to come back to this one. Look at my PowerPoints, wow. Number 17. Okay, so, although King Aegeus would gladly have refused to send his own son, Theseus insisted that he understood the dangers and would succeed in killing the Minotaur. "I will return to you, father," cried Theseus, as the ship left the harbour wall, "and you will be proud of your son." "Then I wish you good luck, my son," cried his father. "I shall keep watch for you every day. If you are successful, take down these black sails and replace them with white ones." So the sails were made out of a material, and these ones were black, and if he succeeds in his mission, he should change the sails to white. "That way, I will know you are coming home safe to me." As the ship docked in Crete, King Minos himself came down to inspect the prisoners from Athens. He enjoyed the chance to taunt the Athenians and to humiliate them even further. "Is this all your king has to offer this year?" he jeered. "Such puny creatures, hardly even a snack for the mighty creature within the labyrinth. Anyway, let's get on with it. I am not a hard-hearted man, so I will let you choose which one goes first into the Minotaur's den. Who is it to be?" Theseus stepped forward. "I will go. I am Theseus, Prince of Athens, and I do not fear what is within the walls of your maze." Those are brave words for one so young and so feeble. "But the Minotaur will soon have you between its horns. Guards, open up the labyrinth and send him in." Standing behind the king, listening, was his daughter, Ariadne. From the moment she set eyes on Theseus, Ariadne fell in love with him. As she listened to her father goading and taunting the young prince, she decided that she was going to help him. As he entered the labyrinth and the guards walked away, she called softly to him. "Theseus, take this," she whispered. "Even if you kill the Minotaur, you will never find your way out again." She threw him a great ball of string and he tied one end of it to the entrance. He smiled at her, turned and began to make his way into the maze, the string playing out behind him as he went, so leaving a little trail so he could find his way out. Theseus walked carefully through the dark, foul-smelling passages of the labyrinth, expecting at any moment to come face to face with the creature. He did not have long to wait. Turning a corner with his hands held out in front of him, feeling his way, he suddenly touched what felt like a huge bony horn. In an instant, his world turned upside down, quite literally. He was picked up by the Minotaur's horns and tossed high into the air. When he landed on the hard, cold stone, he felt the animal's huge hooves come down on his chest. Every last breath seemed to be knocked out of him, and he struggled to stay alive in the darkness. But Theseus was no ordinary man. He was the son of the king. He was brave and he was stubborn. As the Minotaur bellowed in his ears and grabbed at him with his hairy arms, Theseus found a strength which he did not know he possessed. He grabbed the animal's huge horns and kept twisting the great head from side to side. As the animal grew weak, Theseus gave one almighty tug, whack on the head, turning it almost right around. The creature's neck snapped, it gurgled at its last breath, and fell to the floor with an enormous thud. It was over. He had done it. The Minotaur lay dead. All he had to do was make his way out of... And then he realised the awful truth. In the struggle he had let go of the string, his lifeline. Theseus felt all over the floor in pitch blackness and kept thinking he had found it, only to realise all he had was a long, wiry hair from the Minotaur. Despair set in, and Theseus wondered if this was where his life would end, down in the dark, all alone next to the stinking body. Then his hand brushed a piece of string, and with a whoop of delight he knew that he had found the thread which would lead him back out. As he neared the entrance of the labyrinth, the darkness began to fade, and he made out the figure of Ariadne, waiting for his return. "You must take me back to Athens with you," she cried. "My father will kill me when she finds out that I have helped you." "But of course you must come with us," said Theseus. "It would be cruel to leave you here." Quickly and quietly they unfurled the great black sails of their ship and headed home. "I cannot believe how my life has changed," said Ariadne, as they sailed across the calm seas towards Athens. "To think that I am free of my cruel father, and that I will soon be married to a great prince." "Married?" said Theseus. "Oh yes, that will be, wonderful." But in truth Theseus did not really want to get married, so when their ship docked at an island on their way home to collect fresh water, Theseus sent Ariadne off to find bread and fruit. The moment she was gone, he set sail and left her on the island. Now you might think this was a bad way to reward someone who had helped him and had saved him from certain death. The gods clearly thought the same thing, for they had a further horror in store for him, as a punishment for his ungrateful treatment of the young girl. In his haste to get away, Theseus forgot to change the sails to white. King Aegeus waiting on the headland, saw the ship approaching with its black sails flying in the wind. "My son has failed and he is dead," he cried, and in despair he flung himself from the cliff into the raging waters below. From that day on, the sea was named in memory of Theseus' father, and to this day it is known as the Aegean Sea, as you can see here, between Greece and Turkey. So you got 2 and a bit tasks today. So activity A, you're going to describe what the myth of Perseus and the Minotaur is explaining. Make sure you use the words tragedy and myth. Then you are going to explain why do you think the myth of Perseus and Minotaur could be described as charity, and explain your thoughts. And you're going to need to include at least 2 arguments in your writing. Remember, you might want to use the words in conclusion and firstly and moreover. And for blue zone, compare Perseus and Minotaur to another myth. Which one is more likely to be described as a tragedy? Why? Use the words in contrast, in addition, hero, and to conclude. So those are your challenges today. Do not forget, I didn't shut that one, let's shut that one, to send all your work to YR5Grange at Harrow. Start again. YR5 at Grange.harrow.sch.uk. I see you guys tomorrow. Bye guys.